I wanted to make a quick video since these are marketed as for 74 to 76 only. This is off of a 77, and the 78 Mustang that I had also was just like that, no different. The only thing that I've seen different so far with both tanks, the height is the same. I say it so far because I found out some things that I really didn't pay attention to. Some variations within these tanks and the body of the car that I didn't even pay attention to. And I had 6 of these cars within the last couple years, and I didn't pay attention to small little details. And I'll get to it, so bear with me. I may not be precise early on in this video because I'm just finding out a couple things as I near the end of this video. So I'll explain everything as I'm going. Is the 77 and 78 models has this shield on it. The straps are the same length. This is off of 76 strap. This is off of 78. This is off of 78. And of course, I'll put the 77 on the screen right now. The shield that I left on the car. And this is off 78. This is off of 77. I mean, this is off of 76. So they're all the same length. And like I said, the only thing noticeable with the 77 and 78 that I've had is this shield. And if you look at one of these, the hole is there. This is off of 76. The hole is there for that to go on. I'm not sure. No, I'm sorry. This is off of 77. So the hole is there on the 77 for that to go on there, but it wasn't on the gray Mustang that I had. No shield. But this one, the 177 that I'm working on right now, and this is off of 78, the red 78, both have those shields on them. And they're the same height. They looks to be made. Some slight variations on the tank on the top. I paused it here because I didn't put emphasis on this flat section. If you rewind back about 10 seconds, and when I pan in on both at the same time, you can see the other tank flat section is raised up a little bit more than this part of the tank. And when I do mount this on the 77, you may see that small seam or that gap that it leaves due to it being raised up slightly on the other tank. But if you rewind back, you can see what I'm talking about, and I didn't put emphasis on it when I should have. So I don't want to leave anything out. I want to make sure I hit all points on this video. But the height is there. This has some loop or circle. I'm not sure what that's for. But they're the same height. And I made this video because I thought they were going to be shaped. I thought they were going to be shaped different. If you look at this, how this is shaped. Let me zoom out some. You guys can see it here. And I like this coating on this tank opposed to that one. Now I coated that one myself. It just was a new tank, but it wasn't coated, so the metal could rust. This is, let me line them up, get a better view. So as you can see here, this has some kind of coating on it as well, but it may be slightly rounded here. And even, okay, I see a little difference here. It looks to be a little bit more rounded. I paused it here because not only is it a little bit more rounded towards the bottom, just a little bit slightly, but the variation is at the top, and I didn't point that out here. I didn't find out until I went up with the other tank, and I'm going to show all that. It's rounded more at the top than the other tank. I may show something, but I want to note that. So let's carry on with the video here. But the bodies are the same, so I pause here again because the bodies are the same, but there is a slight variation underneath, and I'm going to show that. Either tank will work, and the straps are within the same length. So this may be a little bit more rounded. You guys can see, compared to that, is a little bit more squared off. So I do see some variation. Let's sit them side by side and see height. Quite sure the height won't be that big of a difference, but this do look more rounded than that. You guys can see it. It's kind of obvious. But it don't matter because both of them gonna work. You can see where the sending unit is installed here. Look at this tank. Got a hole in it. This tank was gonna leak. I didn't see that. So even if it wasn't messed up in the inside like it is, it's gonna leak here and here. Wow, so you never know. If you got a fuel leak and you got an older tank on there, those straps needs to be removed so you can see where the leak is coming from, because this definitely gonna leak. You get up quarter tank, this is leaking out. Not even a quarter tank. You just have some gas in here. But then let's check for height, and I just want to see what was the variation here. And I think maybe it was curved off a little bit more because of this shield. Not sure, but let's measure height. I don't think there's no difference in height wise. All right, so the height is pretty much spot on. Notice the slant to the left of the screen, the slant up top, how it curves over. That's huge, and you're gonna see why. The height is there, and although where the filler neck goes looks to be offset, if I reverse this around, it'll be in the same position as that. That crease is also there and there. So it may, the slight variation may be the curvature. If you can look this, you can tell it's a little bit more curved off than this one. This one's a more squared off compared to this one being have more curvature. But so here are the dimensions for both tanks. They're pretty much the same. However, that curvature makes a difference, and both one fitting perfect and the other fitting not so perfect, and I'm gonna show that. And the 1977-78 one is a more expensive tank, $100 something more, if not a couple $100 more than the 77-76. I mean 74 through 76. We're on the gas tank or the fuel tank. We might as well talk about the three different sending units that you'll see on these vehicles. This one is one that you'll see under the vehicle or in the tank when it has a fuel line, a return line that runs to the fuel sender, and a fuel line. In our case, we don't have that. We have the single fuel line itself. So I'll show you all this one. It's the 74 through 76 one. As you can see with the plug facing down, how it's angling to the right. And I'll show you a little bit more in depth in a second. It's angling to the right, whereas the 77 and 78 right here, it's angling to the left when the plug's facing down. So by me using the 74, 76 in the tank that I'm going back up with, the gas line, the rubber line that's coming from the line up top is too short because it's angling the opposite way. So here's a closer look. This is the 74 through 76. You see how it's angling? And look at the 77, 78, how it's angling. It's angling the other way. So in my case, I got to use a longer rubber hose, just about a few inches longer, to make it work with the tank that I'm going with on the white and blue Mustang. Here are a couple real-time examples of the fuel sending units that you'll find in these vehicles. And this tank was removed from a 1978 Ford Mustang that was originally equipped with a V6 engine, although when I got it, it had a V8 engine in it. This fuel tank was removed from a 1977 Ford Mustang that was originally equipped with a 4-cylinder engine, the 2.3. And as you can see, the return line is present on this fuel sending unit. And I could be wrong by saying this, but all the 4-cylinders I've seen, even the ones I didn't even own, the fuel sending unit had the return line there, whereas the V6 and V8 engine equipped models only had the single line, the gas line, at the fuel sending unit. So let me know in the comment sections if I'm wrong, but all the ones I've seen, and I've owned 6 of these cars, done lots of research over the last few years, so let me know if I'm inaccurate in the comment section, and let's carry on with the video. Just wanted to make this quick video. Let me prep this tank so I can install it in the white and blue car, and I'll be back with that video as well. Nope, we got some more to go over. Let me show you guys some more things, some more variations. Alright guys, I do want to add something that is different, I believe, between the 77 and 78 models opposed to the earlier models, 74 to 76, is these gas strap, these fuel tank strap bolts. If you look at this, see how this is made, this will not work on the 76, period. This one here, look. 76, look at the bolt. Let's pull it out of here. The slots are rounded, so this won't work at all. It's a round headed bolt. This will not go up in here. You can't get this in here no way. I've tried because I got some really good bolts to go up there. This will not work. Whereas if you look at the 77 and 78 models, it's a square peg, and I'll show you guys in a second. It's a square hole opposed to a circle hole. So now, I don't know how I overlooked this, guys. Not only is the channel square, what they did was this entire section is different. It's totally different. You guys can see how it is. And I'll show you the 76 because this tank is not going all the way up there due to how this is more curved here. Whereas the 76 is more squared, and I'll show you all that in a second. So that's what they did. This strap worked fine. This one's not working. This is too short. I'm gonna get a longer bolt because I gotta clean this off. I got oil all over the tank, but I know what they did. So let me get a longer bolt to make this work. Okay, so look at this. Totally made different. This is more rectangular and the other one's more curved. That's great paint. Chips of great paint off the tank, off the last tank, but look at that. So that's why the tank is different. That's the same. It's this. This the same. Everything's the same but this section. Yeah, so this entire section is different. That's the thing. This section is different. This made similar, but this is different. Here are some real-time examples, and as you can see that curvature in that section, this is the 1978, and you can see the more curved off fuel tank. Here's the 1977 with that exact same section, that more curved section up top up there, and you can see the more rounded off fuel tank as well. Here's another 78 with the exact same setup. And finally, here's another 76 that I had. As you can see, that section is squared off up there where the tank is. Here's a closer look at it, and you can see how that section back there is squared off like the earlier model vehicles. So here's the size of that bolt that goes up there, 7/16. However, they didn't have any 7/16, so I have to settle for a 3/8 inch carriage bolt, which is fine. It's thick enough, and I'll show you guys that in a second. So 4 inch. These 4 inches would work. The bolt that comes there is 3 inches that comes on the vehicles. So the 4 inch will work, but I went with a 5 inch so I can have even more length. And I'll show you this right now. So here's the 77 and 78 tank. Look how it's seated up there, guys. And then I'm going to show you all the 74 through 76 tank mounted up there right now. So here's the 74 through 76 tank mounted up on the 77, and it's not seated up there perfectly. It's kind of hanging down about 1 inch on the left side, so you have to get a longer carriage bolt to make this work. And the other bolt on this side, what I'm showing right now, is fine. I got to tighten it down a little bit more, but it's up there, and it may be down. You can see that seam right there. It's not all the way tucked in, so we're down about 1 inch or so, but the filler neck is in fine. Everything else, the vent tube, the connector is going to be fine. The gas line is going to be fine. So it's not seated perfectly in there, but it's going to work just perfect for me. But I'm all good with this and happy to be running gas through the tank now so the car can run without having a makeshift gas tank. So hope you guys found all this helpful. Thanks for watching. Terrence and I'm out.